As odd as this question sounds, Bill, do you think it's possible for people to have different levels of recovery?
You know, when Ernie Kurtz and I were first working on a paper on varieties of recovery experience, that's one of the questions we looked at. Are there sort of levels or depths of recovery? Because what we kept encountering was, if we say that recovery has three components, there are some people that we could say have experienced full recovery in the sense that we can find evidence of change in all three of those dimensions of the person-drug relationship, enhancements of emotional, physical health, and this person-community relationship. But then we find other people where we find they've radically altered the person-drug relationship. They've maintained continuous sobriety, maybe for decades. But when we look at other areas, what we find is potentially virtually no change in the other two dimensions. So in that case, and some people in recovery circles have referred to that as dry drunk, or people needing emotional sobriety and other such caricatures. The key thing is that if recovery involves multiple dimensions, there is a concept of partial recovery that says people may achieve one of those dimensions at a very high level, but still have major work to do or problems existing in those other areas. Now, this is an interesting way to contrast recovery in the mental health context to recovery from the addiction concept. Because in the mental health field, historically, they've had a very clear concept of partial recovery from things like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. But they've had, until very recently, no concept of full recovery from those same disorders. By contrast, in the addiction field, we've had a reified concept of full recovery, but we haven't had a legitimized concept of partial recovery. And that's something, as time goes on, that we may need to talk about and tease out and nuance both our language and our understanding. There's also a third level that we encountered. In addition to full recovery and partial recovery, as Ernie and I continued our research into this, we found a significant subset of people who not only get well from addiction, but they get better than well. And this is what we called an amplified state of addiction recovery, in which persons achieve an extremely elevated level of personal and interpersonal functioning and contributions to the larger recovery. And not only have we not told the recovery story at a community level or a cultural level, but most importantly, we haven't talked about the major contributions that come to this culture from individuals who've achieved this amplified depth of recovery.